Hey guys, this is Mark from Oceaholic again. Yeah, today I have yet another motherboard unboxing video ready for you, and this time it's about the MSI Z170A XPower Gaming Titanium Edition. Yeah, quite a long name actually. This is one of MSI's new enthusiast gaming series motherboards. And yeah, as I already mentioned, there is a Z170 chipsets inside, and the latest Intel Skylake Core i processors are supported. Yeah, if we have a quick look around the box, we see it's very nicely packed. That titanium theme, they keep it in kind of like a silverish color. And there is this front cover, and on the inside you see that titanium shield thingy, as well as some details on the board. Yeah, OC power design with 16 phases and TI chokes. That's actually where the titanium is coming from, apart from the color. Game boost button, yeah, allows you to increase the performance quite easily by adding or adjusting the B clock by a factor of 1.25. Then there is the OC dashboard, which is a cool thing for extreme overclocking to easily adjust like base clock and stuff like that, power reset, and so on and so forth. Um, yeah, with all the Z170 motherboards these days, you get M.2 slots. In this case, there are two, which also apparently support NVMe. Then there is MSI's so-called Audio Boost 3, which offers crystal clear sound with Audio Boost 3 and Nahimic technology. They advertise 150 decibel SNR ratio. That's kind of okay. It's not the best we've come across these days. I mean, for example, Gigabyte offers up to 120 dB SNR on their motherboard. But yeah, 115 is also pretty nice for an onboard solution. Yeah, if we continue here, OC thermal design for both MOS and choke, a direct touch heat pipe, yeah, double touch thermal design. Okay, sounds nice, but I don't really see the point. What's this all about when you only see the socket? Because the heat pipes underneath the power converter coolers, they're not in direct touch with the faces behind the choke, so that must mean something else here. DDR4 boost, next level memory design with like specifically isolated traces going from the CPU to the memory. That's also, yeah, nice to have. Then optimized for gaming VGA with the steel armor and to provide better strength so that the slots don't break during transportation, or the likelihood is lower that they break during transportation. Apart from that, there is also USB 3.1. There is type, in this case, there are the Type A connectors highlighted. USB 3.1 is 2 times faster than Gen 1. So yeah, it also allows for fast charging, pushing out 2 amps through the USB, so you can charge your mobile phone quite quickly in this case. And then there is a gaming LAN port. Yeah, where they're saying it offers lower latency, but basically that is kind of like black magic, since gigabit is gigabit, and that's it. So yeah, if we flip the box around, we see the most important features highlighted again: the OC power design, the game boost, the OC dashboard, and the DDR4. Yeah, that's enough talking about the box. Let's open it up. And as always, we first have a look at the bundle that comes with this nice little thing. So yeah, try to get it the right way around. So here we have the SATA cables. There is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 in the delivery. No, 5, 6. 3 of them are angled to straight, and the other 3 are straight to straight. It's basically the usual setup which you get these days. Then there is an extra long SLI bridge, which kind of like spans half the board, really long. I/O shield, looks, yeah, nice. Then DVD with all the drivers and stuff. The manual, in case you want to know some details. And yeah, maybe we find some other information, because on some boards the SATA ports are shared with the M.2 slot. So we go for the storage specs, and then we see, where is the star? Okay, it says there are 8 SATA 6 gigabit ports, and then there is an asterisk, and 2 SATA E ports, and another 3 stars after it. And for the 1 star it says M.2 SATA and SATA E ports maximum support 1 time M.2 SSD plus 6 times SATAs, or 2 times M.2 SSDs plus 1 times SATA E HDD plus 2 times SATA HDD. Please refer to page 36 for M.2 slots with example of variable combination possibilities. So yeah, there are actually some SATA ports disabled if you choose to plug in an M.2 SSD. So that's what I wanted to point out there. Okay then. What's this? Yeah, some advertisement on, yeah, kind of like a poster, if you want to look at it this way. And a quick overview on the board, pointing out all the different features and stuff. Yeah, also nice thing to have. Door hanger, I'm not here, or I'm sorry, busy gaming or overclocking or whatever you might be doing with your motherboard. I don't actually want to know everything. MSI quick installation guide, yeah, also nice to have. If you're an unexperienced user, that's kind of like, yeah. That looks like a cable to attach to a USB 3.0 internal header. It's like kind of like an extension cable. No, not kind of like, it is an extension cable. Then we go with some probes to read out voltages. Extreme overclockers will like it. Here we have a CPU installation tool, which you can use to like grip your CPU and then put it in the socket, that it doesn't like slip out of your fingers and like trash the socket. And here we have the OC dashboard. No, I'm mistaken, I'm sorry. This one is actually to connect the OC dashboard. So here is the connector, goes in here. And some BCLK plus minus buttons. Then we have a reset button here, power button here. Then this one is honestly, I don't know what it is. Sorry for that. And here you can change the ratio up and down, the BCLK ratio. And here we have a BIOS selector and the so-called fast button. Okay then. That's it with the bundle. And finally, we make it to the board itself. Yeah. Well protected, as always, in an anti-static bag. And yeah, here we go with the board itself. Yeah, as you can see, MSI has decided to come up with a completely new color scheme for this motherboard. So basically the PCB is kind of like silverish, grayish, a mixture of it. I guess they would say it's a titanium color, but that's actually quite hard to realize if you're not actually using the metal itself. The PCH as well as the VRM are apparently cooled by heat sinks. They're made from solid aluminum blocks. Also, in my opinion, very nicely designed. Apart from that, the board is quite heavy. If I have it like this, you see that it bends here. So yeah, it's really dragging down up here. So these two blocks, they actually weigh quite something. Apart from that, it's laid out in a way that you can install up to 4 graphics cards. And flipping the board over, you can see that the PCI Express slots have been wired using, or the full-sized ones have been wired using 16 lanes, 8 lanes, 8 lanes, and 8 lanes. Those are the ones here. You can see basically that MSI is kind of like suggesting that you don't really install more than 2 cards on this board, since there is no PLX chip. I mean, you have 20 lanes coming from the CPU itself, and these 20 lanes will then have to be splitted. And yeah, that's not really too much. There really needs to be a PLX chip to offer the additional lanes. Yeah, then there are 3 PCI Express Gen 1 slots here in between the slots, the full-sized ones. And yeah, the first full-size, I mean, if you have this layout with 4 full-sized PCI Express ports, then the one on top is quite close to the CPU socket, which actually means if you put in a really large heatsink, then the VGA, if you place it in this slot, is very, very close to the heatsink. So yeah, that can be, it's kind of like if you want to take the VGA out afterwards, for example, it will be quite difficult to reach this lever here. I always use kind of like a screwdriver or like a sharp instrument to reach to the part here, and you have to be kind of careful to not like damage anything down here. So yeah, what we can also see is an additional power plug here to provide all the PCI Express slots with enough power if you do actually really decide to equip all 4 slots with a graphics card. You can do it, but yeah. So yeah, if we have a quick look at the audio solution, it's based on a Realtek ALC 1150 audio codec, like most of the other Z170 based motherboards available these days. Then there are high-end Nichicon caps here, and there is a separate tracing, kind of like insulating or isolating the audio solution from the rest of the motherboard to reduce like signal interference to a minimum. Apart from that, there is also a backlight on the trays. Maybe you can see like the small SMD LEDs all over the length of the traces here. Yeah, makes for a really nice effect. You can control the lighting from within the BIOS or the software from Windows. Yeah, if we continue, there are 2 SATA ports. No, not SATA, M.2 ports here. You can install all different sizes of M.2 drives on this board. Yeah, really cool. You can even RAID them if you want to do so. Yeah. So continuing here with some of the headers and additional buttons, connectors, blah blah blah, we find the external audio connector. Then there is a system fan 4-pin header. There is a debug LED. Always, I really like these. They're really helpful if you when you're setting up your computer and stuff. This is a switch to actually disable some of the PCI Express slots. You have a hotkey switch here. Then you have 2 headers for additional USB 2.0 headers. Then there is another fan header, 4-pin, system fan 3 it says. Yeah, the JF panel. Then this is actually where you connect all your power reset, HD LED and status LED cables coming from the case. Another power and reset button, and the OC switch to like increase the BCLK ratio. Continuing here, we find the SATA ports. There is a total of 8 SATA ports, and 4 of them can be combined to offer 2 SATA Express ports. As I said, the SATA ports are going to be shared with the the M.2 slots and the with the M.2 slots. So yeah, if you decide one of the M.2 slots, some of the SATA ports are going to be disabled, or actually the eSATA ports. Here we have an angled USB 3.0 header, an internal one. That's quite useful in my I quite like it when they're angled, so you don't really have like that sturdy little cable making such a huge 90-degree angle to go somewhere through a loophole in the motherboard. So yeah, there is a USB 3.1 header on the board itself. If you use the board for overclocking and you have it like this on a table, then the back connectors are facing to somewhere, and it's much easier to attach a keyboard, for example, here. Yeah, the ATX power plug, then here you connect the OC dashboard with the extension cable, and here you put in all your probes to read out the voltages and stuff. Yeah, another CPU fan or another fan header 4-pin. This is actually the CPU fan 2 header. This is the CPU fan 1, also 4-pin. There are only 4-pin headers on this board. Really cool, really nice. So you can adjust all the fan speeds of all the fans you connect to your motherboard. Yeah, and then we have the power design, which is hidden underneath the heatsink here. The heatsinks are connected by a 6mm heat pipe to evenly distribute the heat generated by the power design. And we have a 16-phase implementation on this board, and we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 phases here. These are taking care of the CPU power delivery only, and then we have additional phases here too, actually, which are taking care of the DDR4 DIMM slots, 1 phase per channel, which is like a basic implementation, and definitely enough to do some serious memory overclocking, for instance. Yeah. Apart from that, yeah, the power design on this board is very high quality. I mean, 16 phases and titanium chokes. That is definitely a seriously punchy combination. It's also been combined with chips from International Rectifier. So overall, it's definitely a high quality power design that MSI is using on this board. Yeah, here you also have your 8-pin EPS 12-volt connector and an additional 4-pin one. And yeah, okay, so let's have a quick look at the I/O connectors on the back. So we can see the USB 3.1 headers here. There is a total of 6 of them, and then there are 3 additional USB 3.0 headers. There is a PS2 connector, which, I mean, overclockers will especially like it because PS2 is what always works. Some gaming keyboards, they can cause like some kind of like issues when when the drivers are not recognized or whatever. We have 2 HDMI connectors here and a display port here. Then we have gigabit LAN port here, the analog audio panel, and an optical out. And here we have a BIOS reset button. So yeah, that's also a very, very handy little thing if you do overclocking. Yeah, if we have another look at the backside of the motherboard, we can see that especially the PCIe cooler has been tightened really, really well to the motherboard using quite big screws, and also these screws here, they're pretty big, they're pretty decent, so they keep the block in place nicely. And it's also, if you decide to remove it, it's easy to do so. You don't have to like go with a super flimsy, small, super tiny screwdriver to release those screws here. Yeah, I've already been talking about the PCIe Express layout with the X8, 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 X16 connectors, and yeah, overall I do really like the design of this board. Also, the feature-wise, it's a good compromise. I mean, yeah, as I said, it is a compromise because I mean, these performance series CPUs, I mean the new Skylake ones, they don't really come with enough PCI Express lanes to support 4-lane or 4-way SLI crossfire with full lane configurations, but at the same time, that's not really necessary. That's not going to bottleneck your graphics performance. So yeah, pretty good compromise. Very nice design. Looks really nice. You can, if you use a silver color, maybe you follow us on Facebook. I posted a video, a picture up there with a nice Fantex huge silver cooler. Looks really cool, and you can build like some new color schemes, because I mean nobody's really done some black and silver combination back in the days, and it also blends in perfectly with these reinforced slots, because if you go with like black and red and stuff like that, this silver is always kind of like looking kind of weird. It's not, yeah. Maybe what would have been cool to find a shroud here, but I guess they didn't go for that, because it blends in nicely with the silver here. So yeah, I do really like the board. If you check out the prices of this particular model, you find it for about 280 euros, which makes it yeah, pretty expensive. It's not really cheap, but then at the same time it is a high-end offering. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share the video, like it, and yeah, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.